Hello and welcome to News Now. I'm your host, Taylor Inman. We're going over the week's biggest headlines for Northwest Montana. The rocks in Glacier National Park's mountains reveal ancient seabeds, rivers, and volcanic activity from billions of years ago, according to geologist Kurt Constantius, a Whitefish native and geologist with the University of Arizona. Speaking during the park's Science and History Day in September, Constantius went over a few of the formations in Glacier which date back to as long as 1.6 billion years ago. Scientists believe that at one point the park was likely connected to Australia. At that time, North America was a much different place, a rather large landmass with huge drainages that once flowed north and then south. Eventually, the landscape rose up into mountains. Geologists can track these shifts by studying the various rock formations as well as dating zircon crystals through their radioactivity. Much of the geological record is fairly straightforward, but there's a wild card in play, according to Constantius. A formation known as the Shepherd Uplift, which features black rock with cobbles, holds the potential link to Australia, though it'll take some more digging to determine if that's definitively the case. The mountains of Glacier, created by the Lewis Overthrust, were formed roughly 150 million years ago, and slowly at that. According to Glacier's website, plates of crust collided on what was then the western edge of North America. That collision began a process of mountain building that would continue for nearly 90 million years. In the area that would become Waterton Glacier International Peace Park, massive forces uplifted a slab of rock several miles thick. The bottommost layer of the slab is roughly 1.6 billion years old, and it was pushed east for 50 miles over rock that was only 70 million years old. Geologists estimate that this movement occurred at a rate of less than half an inch a year. When the slab finally came to a halt, the layer on top was over 1 billion years older than the rock beneath it. The Lewis Overthrust Fault is not only Glacier's most famous geological feature, it is also major evidence of the tectonic events that created the mountains here in the crown of the continent. As a result of the uplift, erosive forces accelerated and over several million years removed the upper layers of material, exposing the rock formations evident in the park today. However, other events were occurring at the same time as the overthrust. Folding warped many of the formations into synclines and anticlines, bending the rock upward and downward like an S-curve. Multiple smaller faults also curved, cracked, and broke into different layers in various places throughout the park. The casual visitor can see evidence of the overthrust in places like Mariah's Pass. The fault can be seen on Summit and Little Dog Mountains as a thin tan line of rock roughly halfway between the peak and the ground below, according to the National Park Service. State officials voted 4-1 to seal about 53,000 acres of land in the Cabinet Mountains under the terms of a perpetual conservation easement during a Montana Land Board meeting on Monday. The October 20th vote signaled the final hurdle in a years-long effort to transfer the development rights of more than 85,000 acres of forest land in Lincoln, Sanders, and Flathead counties from Green Diamond Resource Company to Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. In February 2025, the state agency finalized a deal to put 32,821 acres north of the Thompson chain of lakes under the Montana Great Outdoors Conservation Easement. With Monday's vote, another 52,930 acres of prime timberland and wildlife habitat will be added to that project this winter, according to Dylan Tabish, the regional communications manager for Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Tabish, who tuned into the meeting remotely with other staff at the Kalispell-based office, said it was an emotional moment to see the final hurdle get approved by the Land Board. He added that he believes this to be a historic moment for Montana. While Green Diamond will retain primary ownership of the land, the terms of the agreement preclude the company and any future owners from intensively developing the property and mandate that the land remain open to the public for outdoor recreation. That's a plus for many of the project's supporters, including State Senator Mike Cuff, a Republican from Eureka. In his testimony to the Land Board, Cuff said he has seen many former forest lands in the area turn into residential neighborhoods or become otherwise fenced off from the public. The terms of the agreement transfer to any future landowners, creating what state officials have described as de facto public lands. Several commenters at the meeting also framed the project as a boon for Northwest Montana's timber industry. In the project's environmental assessment, state officials estimated that the conservation easement produces about 3 million board feet of timber each year, contributing about $12 million to the local economy. Policy manager for Green Diamond, Jason Callahan, said that's what they are going to continue to do on the land, quote, creating fiber for mills and jobs in the woods. He added the agreement allows them to monetize the development rights and put that into fire resiliency and forest health work. Opponents of the purchase focused on the potential resources beneath the surface of the property. An analysis performed by the state as part of the project's environmental assessment found that the property's mineral development potential was negligible. WRH Nevada Properties, LLC, the company that owns the mineral rights on about half of the conservation easement, has long disputed that finding. Lloyd Parsons, a project manager for WRH Nevada, told the land board the conservation easement would have a real effect on the company's ability to explore and extract any minerals on the property. WRH Nevada still has the right to explore and extract minerals under the terms of the easement, but Parsons said it was difficult to find companies willing to do that work on a conservation easement. Testimony from Parsons, the Montana Mining Association, and Citizens for Balanced Use ultimately failed to sway the opinions of most officials on the land board. The purchase was approved in a 4-1 vote. Attorney General Austin Knudsen supplied the sole vote against the easement. Lieutenant Governor Kristen Juris provided an affirmative proxy vote for Governor Greg Gianforte, who is in South Korea on a trade trip. The conservation easement was appraised for a purchase price of $57.5 million, but Green Diamond is contributing an in-kind donation of $20 million. About $35.8 million is expected to come from the United States Forest Legacy Program, and $1.7 million will be contributed from state funds. Whitefish Community Foundation awarded $8.1 million to 85 Flathead Valley nonprofit organizations during the Great Fish Award ceremony on Tuesday evening. The total amount included nearly $6.7 million donated by more than 4,200 individuals, families, and businesses during the one-month campaign, plus an additional $1.4 million from the Great Fish Match provided by the Whitefish Community Foundation's Circle of Giving and other donors. This year's Great Fish Match is the largest in the history of the challenge, thanks to the Foundation's growing Circle of Giving and other donors who made a gift to the match during the campaign. In celebration of the Foundation's 25th anniversary, the Circle of Giving received a $250,000 bonus gift for surpassing 250 members. The Circle of Giving grew to 280 members, of which 92 are new to the program. The Circle of Giving is the core group of donors that gives $5,000 or more annually to support the Foundation's grant programs, including the Great Fish Match. This year, each nonprofit received a 68% match on $25,000, resulting in a $17,000 matching grant per qualifying organization. Last year's matching grant was $14,500 per organization. The Whitefish Community Foundation also awarded $59,500 in supportive grants and special awards, bringing the grand total awarded through the Great Fish Community Challenge to an all-time high of over $8 million. This represents a 21% increase over last year's campaign. President and CEO of Whitefish Community Foundation, Alan Davis, said, quote, "The generosity we witnessed this year is nothing short of extraordinary." The Great Fish Community Challenge is a charitable giving campaign that offers donors the opportunity to give to multiple organizations with one transaction. Whitefish Community Foundation organizes and administers the challenge free of charge for nonprofits. The estimated cost of this year's challenge is approximately $368,000, a value of over $4,300 to each participating nonprofit. Since 2015, the Great Fish Community Challenge has raised over $43 million for more than 100 Flathead Valley nonprofits. A detailed report on the 2025 Great Fish Community Challenge will be included in the Daily Interlake, Whitefish Pilot, Big Fork Eagle, and Hungry Horse News on October 29th. Thanks for joining us. News Now is a podcast from the Daily Interlake. We're proud to be the largest independent newsroom in Montana and the longest continuously published newspaper in the region. Today's stories were written by Hungry Horse News editor Chris Peterson, Daily Interlake reporter Haley Smalley, and other Interlake staff. You can read the full versions of these stories at dailyinterlake.com. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode of the pod. Everybody stay safe and have a great week. Thanks to our sponsor, Lauren's Auto Repair, at 1309 U.S. Highway 2 in Kalispell. Most consistently rated 5-star shop serving the Kalispell area. Visit lawrencauto.com.